Now, should celebrities stay out of politics? The National Association of Broadcasters reckons so. They've withdrawn their award for Robert de Niro and uninvited him from their awards evening after he was filmed protesting outside the recent Donald Trump trial.
What's your view of Donald Trump?
You know my view of Donald Trump. He's a monster. He should not be allowed. Listen.
Let's back up, people. Give him a little room. Little breathing room. Let's give him a little room.
He cannot be president of the United States again. Never, ever.
He called the former president a clown, a dictator, and he warned people should speak up now to stop Trump from being re-elected. So there was straight after the trial, when he was found guilty, Trump gave a press conference where he said that the people who had caused his prosecution, referring to the courts, were not just bad, I think they're also sick.
Very good. He
said. And you can hear him here talking about how his defense witnesses were treated.
We weren't allowed to use our election expert under any circumstances. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel.
They said the judge looks like an angel and behaved like a devil. And he said his witnesses were literally crucified. He was asked on Fox News on Sunday how he would manage if he went to jail.
The judge could decide to say, hey, house arrest or even jail.
It could.
Face what that could.
I'm okay with it. I saw one of my lawyers the other day on television saying, oh, no, you don't want to do that to the president. I said, you don't beg for anything. I don't know that the public would stand it, you know. I'm not sure the public would stand for it.
I mean, let's go back to De Niro. Is it right to say, De Niro, you're either an actor or you're a political person, Mike?
Yeah, I do, honestly. I get fed up with so-called celebrities who come out and use their enormous fame, and fame is power, to pass their individual opinions on a situation. De Niro's 80 years of age anyway. Joe Biden gets a lot of stick for being 81 and showing signs sometimes of confusion. I think De Niro's very confused about
Trump
his role.
is a celebrity who's become a politician.
Well, he's not even... If he's that brave and he wants to make those sort of comments, then stand as a politician in proper elections and get the people to vote for you. But don't just stand on the streets of Manhattan and spout all your vile bile against people you don't like.
What do you think, Nelufar? Right. Cancel De Niro.
I think the celebrities nowadays are caught between a very, very difficult, a rock and a hard place, in a very difficult space. Because, for example, if you look at the blackout movement that's happening on TikTok, like blackout movement that is happening on TikTok, you've got celebrities like Beyonce, Selena Gomez, and various others losing millions of followers because they are not outspoken enough on the Palestine crisis. Okay. So celebrities are damned if they don't and damned if they do. It's a different... Listen, I'm not going to lose sleep over a celebrity being penalised by not getting an award, right? I'm not worried about that. But I will say this. It is important to use your voice where you think it can make a difference. And Kid Rock does it all the time for Trump. Indeed, allows him to use all his music license free and so on and so forth. So I think the reason that this is, I think because he's an Academy Award winning, just a famous actor, I think that's why this has happened. But I do think that the blackout movement shows that people nowadays expect celebrities to say the right thing.
They should resist. I mean, look, it can be used for great goodness. So, for instance, Elizabeth Taylor, the most famous woman actress in the world of her day, she decided to take up the AIDS cause and probably raised over £100 million with people like Elton John. Now, that's for the positivity of goodness. That's helping the world. But De Niro's just spouting, you know, real nasty comments about somebody he doesn't like, and that's wrong.
What De Niro did when you watch the whole thing, he believes that America is in some kind of stupor where it's going to drift into a second Trump term. And he's trying to, as he sees it, shake it awake. So he said, don't do this.
And he believes he's got the authority to tell America how to vote. I think that's outrageous. On the strength of making one film.
He's a guy who says, look, there's a fire in your house. Yeah. I can see it from the street. You're downstairs, leave the house. He thinks he's sounding a warning.
Of one film 50 years ago, he overrates himself, in my view, as to how important he is in America.
What about Meet the Fockers?
No, I'd stick with The Deer Hunter. It's the only one
what about
I think
The Irishman?
Godfather 2?
Godfather 2 was
Sorry,
all
right. The Irishman. So the main thing is here is, does this sort of politicking by celebrities have an impact on us, the average, you know, ordinary woman on the street?
Yeah, I dislike him now.
Well,
I'm not going to watch any more of his films.
What, you won't watch
wow, a
Godfather 2?
protest!
I'm not. No, I'm sorry. You
won't watch The Deer Hunter?
He is trying to bend the rules of democracy by introducing a third force. That's him and his opinion. And frankly, I've had it now with his films.
James is in Dorset. James, is it right for people like De Niro to blow the whistle on Trump?
I think so. I think everyone's entitled to have an opinion. That's how a democracy works. Everyone is entitled to have their opinion on what goes on and what's happened.
But some people I'm only interrupting you, James, because some people, celebs have an undue weight. And you take an example.
Bullying.
Taylor Swift, if she suddenly came out for Trump, that might give him an extra 2 states.
But the thing is, everyone's entitled to an opinion, whether they agree with it or not. You know, Donald Trump, he's not a politician at the moment, and he says some horrendous things, and he's allowed to say them. Why isn't everyone else allowed their opinion?
Fair enough.
I think at the moment, I think everyone should be entitled to an opinion. That's how a free state works. But I think if you're in the public eye, like your panel, they're not politicians, but they're giving their opinions.
Close.
I think everyone in the public eye should just be responsible with their opinions. What worries me is people like Carol Vorderman at the moment who are just putting out videos going, let's just vote so the Tories don't get in. Well, hold on a minute.
Well,
you know, why don't you let the people understand?
Yeah, but you've just contradicted yourself. I mean, if everyone can have an opinion, Carol can have as many as she wants.
And to be fair, she did
but
lose
that's
her
not
job
being really
at the
responsible, is it?
But she did lose her job at the BBC because she was
minor job.
outspoken. And, well, she did lose her job. She lost her job. And she has now taken to... Listen, she's now taken to her personal profile and the stuff she does with the Law Society in order to bring that stuff out. So she's hardly using the BBC to get her point across.
No. I don't think the BBC's not part of this. Thanks, James. Yeah. It's a case of whether Carol has given it the full bazookas when she's actually
on her own page, though, right? She's made her own TikTok on her own page.
She's no different from De Niro, but presumably you don't like that either.
Well, look, Carol Vorderman, say what you like. She's only become a sort of rabble-rouser in the last couple of years because I think she's seen it's worked for other people in the showbiz industry, right? But De Niro's been after Trump for 11 years. You know, he first started baiting him 11 years ago, even before he was president first time. He's obsessed by Donald Trump, and that obsession now seems to me to have become some sort of illness with him. And I honestly, he's bullying the world by saying, I'm the famous Robert De Niro, what I say goes.
Let me just take a call from Peter in Wolverhampton. Peter, do you think De Niro should speak out against Trump?
Yes, I think Mike's out of touch with normal people who love celebrities, and I've asked Bruce Springsteen, I've written to him and asked him to support Keir Starmer.
And has he given you a reply to your letter, or has he set off down Thunder Road?
I think he's on board to run.
So, well, yeah, he might, because he does, I think, ironically, I think it might have been Springsteen and all of that lot coming out for Hillary Clinton that sank her, actually.
I think it was.
I think the celebrities are fantastic, and it would spice up the campaign if we got a few more of them in.
OK, fair comment.
Can I say one thing? Sorry, Peter. You think these celebrities are fantastic. How come 99% of the celebrities go left? Right? Yeah. They support left-wing politicians. And I've got a theory on this. Because they're rich and famous and very, very privileged, they seem to have this psychological thing in their head that I'm going to pretend I'm with the working man. I'm going to pretend I'm left-wing. Otherwise, people will hate me for being rich and famous. So, that's what I think it is.
OK, right.
Thanks, Peter.
Arguably, Trump's base are predominantly working-class people, right? Especially those who part of the MAGA movement are ordinary working-class people. He's a supposed billionaire. So his celebrity, his TV shows, his money all come with the fact that he goes for the popular vote via the working-class vote. I think it's a bit disingenuous to be like, De Niro, you don't like De Niro's politics and therefore he shouldn't have a say, but you quite like Trump's politics and therefore he should.
No, I haven't said that.
And the stakes couldn't be any higher.
I haven't said that. But surely Donald Trump has earned the right to have opinions on politics because he became the president of the United States.
Why
Therefore, he's qualified to pass opinions.
But De Niro is saying the stakes couldn't be any higher because another term of this guy could essentially put America on its knees.
That's
his argument.
He's just an amateur. De Niro's an amateur.
Sonia's in Essex. Sonia, do you think it's right for celebrities to speak out on politics?
Oh, yes. They have a right to speak. They have a right to say what their views are. And I think, when we start trying to silence certain people, we're in the wrong. Because we're all happy that Mr. Trump, who was this big celebrity, ran for president, won the presidency. We know he lied about certain things because he was convicted of 34 of those lies. But we don't have a problem with it. We don't have a problem with that, but we have a problem with Robert De Niro. How dare he go out and speak out?
Do you think Trump is going to win, Sonia?
No, I don't. If he does, the world is in trouble. Because we're telling our young people you can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to live by the laws. You don't have to do anything that's right. You just go and you talk a load of rubbish. You try to convince everybody else that you're okay. And the whole world is, they're all rubbish. You know, I'm rich, I'm famous, I can do whatever I want to do. Trump doesn't have the heart for America and any of his policies.
We've got a. Thank you, Sonia, so much. Thank you. We've got a list of films that Mike will no longer watch because you won't watch anything with De Niro in.
Wow.
Well,
Mean Streets, Once Upon a Time in America, Raging Bull, Godfather Part 2, Deer Hunter, Cape Fear, Untouchables. That's quite a big gap.
There's 4 great films there. You know, Raging Bull.
Yeah.
What was it Jack?
Jack. Yes.
No, Godfather 2, The Deer Hunter. Great films. But sadly, off my watching list from now on.
All right. After the break.